let's talk about. So you played the game for a while, and do you know like level 2 advantage, level 3 advantage? Do you know about all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, for this first thing, it's just level 2 advantage. You just didn't use it. I don't know what happened here, but you just didn't use your level 2 advantage here, and I have no idea why you didn't. You just didn't want to do it, but you have one more minion to go, and you just didn't play as aggressively as you could. You can see you're already backing off,
Yeah.
and you're about to hit level 2, and just nothing happens. Since you already know about it, I don't think there's much to talk about. Just make sure that you always keep track of the minions and try to really punish people that step up like this, because she steps up really close, and if you were right here rather than here, you get a free trade, and you just have an easier time in lane. Next thing that we can talk about is the ward that you placed later on, because what happened here is after we push in the wave,
Mm-hmm.
you placed a ward in the top side of the enemy's jungle, and honestly, this ward is pretty useless for you right now. You kind of just didn't adapt to what you have here. You can see that your Teemo is literally in the top side of the enemy jungle already. So you already
Yeah.
know that Karthus might not be heading up here anyways, but you also have a ward there already from the Teemo that he placed. So
Yeah.
it probably would be better to just either save it or go towards the bot side, because you know that the Karthus is in the bot side of the jungle. So you can place it on your Raptors, or you can place it, you know, over here or even further if you have the opportunity to do that. And you probably could place it even further. Super small, super simple, just adapt to what you have, because this ward just doesn't do anything for you now. Next up is the level 3 advantage, and I honestly, you were already like starting a trade when you were about to hit level 3, and like I understand that you didn't really have like a opportunity to really get your level 3 because you traded right before you're hitting level 3, but in the future I would just really love for you to, rather than start the trade, obviously she's trying to trade with you, but I would so rather you hit your minions, position more aggressively, and then hit level 3 and then try to go for the trade. Because when you get level 3, you know, we get a bunch of stats, we get another ability. It just makes our trade much better. And in this sense, we just traded before we hit level 3, but I'd rather you just kill this minion, then go for this, you know?
Okay. Because I have how do I say? Advantage, right? Because I hit level 3 first.
Yes,
So it
you
makes
literally
sense.
just need this one minion, and if you hit this one minion before you had this trade, like you're already positioned so aggressively, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you could have gotten an even better trade. And I think this kind of just went like kind of even. It wasn't like, I guess she did lose the trade. Yeah, she basically lost the trade. But yeah, just something to look at. Just pay attention to those level 2s and 3s a little bit more, and I think you'll be perfectly fine. Let's move on to a little bit later into the game at around like 3:35. Here is where we have an opportunity where we're pushing in the wave in. We've got some downtime. What do we do? All right, we're gonna walk down towards the bot side. We're going to place a ward right here. And I just want for you to get the most out of your warding. This isn't as helpful to place a ward right here. It also is like, it doesn't give us as much time if we just walk a little bit further and just walk and just place a ward right here. Because like, what's gonna happen? The wave's gonna bounce back and she's gonna push into us. Why don't we just use that little bit of extra time to walk a little bit further, place a ward in that like weird alcove on the ramp, so we have more time to see someone. Another thing, during this time, we could just look into our lanes. We didn't look into our lanes at all. There's literally something happening in the bot side currently. I don't know what's going on. They are super pushed up into your bot lane. We also saw the Karthus for a little bit. Maybe we could have roamed. I don't know, but I understand, like, yeah, you don't want to roam because you want to hit level 6 really quick.
Yeah, I definitely I tunnel visual a lot. Like it's really weird to have the minimap on the right like bottom corner, right? Because when you play FPS, I always look at the minimap and it's like on top. So for me, it's like weird. Like I even put the minimap bigger now. Like it's huge now. It used to be a lot smaller, but
Yeah.
even that sometimes I don't see it. Yeah.
Just make sure when we have downtime. Just pop a little look. What's going on, you know? A little look. It's so easy, it's so simple, and it could be very beneficial to collect information and then see what we can do with that information. And that's basically what League is. Collect information, do what we want with that information, and see what we can do. This is what happens after we place this ward is, if we got this better vision that I was talking about, and I understand that you're not paying attention to your map as much, you're probably CSing a little bit, you can see eventually the Bard will show up, and we did have some time to see that he is here. Like, you can see that he's coming, and we just didn't see it. Obviously, you're CSing and everything. This is like just looking at the minimap a little bit more every so second to see what is going on, but also placing a ward a little bit deeper would be a little bit more beneficial to see it faster and to see it sooner. And this is why we get ganked, and it was just, we weren't looking, and also maybe we could have gotten better vision and just not looking at our minimap. And then after this, what happens is you are going to see that there is a bot skirmish, or sorry, a top skirmish going on right now. We got Teemo fighting the Karthus at the moment, and then we see Bard up there. We collected that information, and then for some reason, we didn't use that information we just collected. That Bard is up in the top side, and we just died for it. We don't have flash because we you know, he took our flash earlier. And it was just as simple as, we saw the Bard, we know he's top side, what is he going to do? He's either going to go top side or he's going to go for the mid lane. If you're going to be pushed up, he's going to go for you. If top lane's pushed up, he's going to go for top. You just didn't do anything with that information that you got. I know it's like a lot. There's like a lot to collect in League, and like there's so many things that can happen, but like it's just the simple of, you know, Bard is top. What is he going to do? It's either he's going to come mid or he's going to go top. Like, those are the two possibilities that he's going to do. And you can even see, while you're CSing a little bit right here, that Bard is literally starting to head towards you as this is happening, as you're just CSing. He was literally, you can see him walk towards the river. Let's just try to use that information to position better or do something differently, so maybe we don't get caught here. But is there any questions about that?
No, it's like I told you, I know I tunnel vision a lot, like in terms of watching the minimap, and also since they have a Bard, I should even do it more often, because I know Bard is a support that really likes to roam like naturally because of the chimes, right? The little passives or whatever he has.
Yep.
So he has to run a lot regardless of everything to collect those. So yeah, it was my bad. There's not much I can say about that one.
I guess this is like a kind of a lesson for you. Look at your minimap more. Don't tunnel vision as much. Like, it's really, that's what I can say. Just don't tunnel vision as much, and I think your early game could become a lot better. But let's move on to talk about, you buy a lot of pots. At least in this game, you bought a lot of pots. In this whole thing, you bought, so first you bought 2 pots. You have 2 pots here, and then later on, I think you buy 2 more, and then even later on, you buy a refillable. It's like, at that point, just buy the straight up refillable. If you like buying, like, I understand that you want to buy pots because you want to be healthy, so you can go for these ult plays, because that's like the main reason why you're probably buying pots, so you can be more healthier in lane, so you can go for your ult plays. But at that point, just buy refillable, because you spent 350 gold just off of buying pots, and if you just bought refillable, you spent 150. And like, it just slows down your gold gain, it slows down your power spikes, and it's just better if you just buy your refillable rather than your pots. Let's move on to the next thing. So basically, we're already here, basically. After you had like this skirmish that happened in the mid lane, and Malphite kind of like took over your lane, I think. Or no. Malphite basically had to back, and he couldn't come back to the top lane for a while, so you TP top lane. All right, that works. I don't really care. That's what you got to do. You're covering for your laners. Awesome. That works. But afterwards, this is just a thing that I would like to have happen in the game, is you are a TF. It would be very helpful after you push this wave, after you kill the Jace, is to back and to head straight into the mid lane, because you are a TF that has an ult that is able to go to both sides of the map really easily. And having Malphite in the mid lane isn't as helpful at the moment. And if you could somehow get your Malphite to, after you push this wave in, after Malphite pushes this wave in, to tell him to go to topside, because you want to be mid lane. It would be so much more beneficial if you were in the mid lane.
No, the only problem is I'm chat restricted, so I cannot type. Yeah, I cannot type, and now
well, you can still use pings. Still use pings. You could use pings in order to like ping like, hey, go topside, please. Go topside. I want to go mid. Oh my gosh, chat restricted. Ay. All right.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that one.
All right. I actually made a video about ego and about toxicity, like literally just today. So this is kind of funny.
I guess I'll have to watch it. Maybe reform.
But let's move on to talk about split pushing. I'm actually going to make a video about split pushing literally today. I'm editing it right now. Basically what happens is the Teemo kills the Jace and you're back in the top side, and after you kill this tower, you are basically starting a split push. And at the moment, do you know like what entails the split pushing? What kind of rules kind of happen, or like what are the rules of split pushing? What keeps you safe? Do you know those rules?
I cannot tell you maybe like specific rules. I have no knowledge about that. I can tell you like what I look for when I'm split pushing. Maybe like if I'm safe, if I'm not, like if my team needs me, if it's better in terms of like gold gains for me to go to a fight, or if it's more worth if I take, for example, a tier 2, right? Because it's 700 gold or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know like rules, like actual rules. No.
Okay, so I'll run it down. This is like the 4 kind of things that you should look out for, these questions that you should ask for when you start a split push and when you are currently in one. So when we start a split push, it means that we're, going into enemy's territory. That is kind of like what happens when a split push begins. We're going into the enemy, and that means that the enemy can arrive sooner because it's just closer to their base. Simple as that. When we're doing split pushing, the 4 rules basically are, where's our team? So where's team? Where is the enemy? And then the other 2 are kind of like, is there an objective up? Do we have TP? Those are like basically the 4 things that are like kind of change what we should do on a split push and if our split push kind of matters. So the first thing is like, where's our team? We see our Teemo's here. We see that Malphite's in base. Senna's in base. What does that mean? Nobody else on the map is adding pressure. So that means we're kind of just waving to ourselves, hey, I'm Twisted Fate right here. Come kill me, Like there's nothing else that the enemy can do at the moment that will like kind of that they need to do. There's no objectives up. That's also like the other question. But like, where's the enemy? We know that Vex is here. We know that Karthus is in the bot side. We don't know where Jace is. Well, Jace just died, meaning that he's probably walking back into the mid lane. Top lane. But we don't know, and also Bard is dead. But we don't know where the Caitlyn is, and then that's kind of it. We just don't know where Caitlyn is. And basically, the big issue with this split push that happens is that our team is not adding pressure, meaning that all of the enemy team is going to start collapsing on you, because this is the only play that they have. So you're going to see that Jace is going to come up here. You're going to see that Caitlyn comes up here. You're going to see that Vex comes up here. Like, everyone arrives to this because this is the only play that they have. Your team is not doing anything else around the map to make this split push basically matter. So you just die for nothing. And that's why I say, like, these are the questions that we should ask ourselves while we are doing a split push and while we begin one. Because during, like, right here, it's like, okay, we're kind of safe, like, we know that Bard's dead. We see that Vex is in the mid lane, and we see that Karthus is in the bot lane. But as the split push goes on, we can see that we don't see the Vex. We still don't see the Caitlyn. We don't see the Bard anymore. Bard is now alive. And then they all just kind of collapse on us, and then we just die. And it's just all about collecting that information and using that information so we can play better macro, That's what I want you to look into if you ever start a split push, or just basically anytime you're starting to go into the enemy's territory. Anytime you pass the river, just ask these questions. Is my team adding pressure? Where is the enemy team at the current? Where are there objectives coming up? Do I have TP to maybe help my team? Those are just some simple questions that we can ask ourselves if we're going to die or not, or if our split push even matters. And then let us move along to this your team just keeps dying to stupid fights, and it sucks, but
Welcome to Silver.
yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, because I understand that I'm like looking at this fight just by looking at my team's health bars, and I'm like, all right, this is probably not going good. This team fight looks kind of terrible. But this whole time that you're, split pushing and you're in the bot side of the jungle, or sorry, bot side, you're just not looking at what's going on. Because we have some downtime, we could be looking, you can see that they're probably going for Rift Herald, but after this, you can see that Vex and Bard come for a mid lane fight, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if, like, maybe you could have TP'd here, maybe you could have ulted, maybe something, Just looking at the minimap is not enough. Because the only things that we see are our team's HP bars, where they're positioned and where the enemy team is positioned, but maybe the Vex is low, maybe the Bard is low, maybe this is an opportunity where we can TP after a fight has happened, and maybe punish the super aggression of the enemy. But like, I just don't know, because we just didn't look this whole time. And then the Senna dies, and then just nothing happens. And we get a tower for free. Like, cool, we got the tower for free, but maybe we could have had something better happen in the mid lane, and we could have done something, but who knows. Now let's move on to your ults. So I just want to ask you a simple question. What makes Twisted Fate's ults so powerful?
Is that a tricky question, or is it just like
Not really, no.
No?
Not really,
okay.
No.
Okay. So my answer for me, first of all, it gives you true sight, so I think that's OP. Second of all, it's almost a global, so you can TP almost anywhere in the map, and it's kind of fast.
All right, yeah, that's what I wanted, So like, it gives you sight of all the enemies, and it also lets you be in two places at the same time, because it lets you teleport. You don't use that information that you have with that true sight sometimes. And this is what happens in this fight. You use your ult here in order to basically catch out these people that are playing way too aggressively. So you kill the Jace, but we're not using that information of seeing that the Vex is right here, walking down the mid lane. And then we didn't position ourselves greatly, and basically we get ourselves caught because we didn't see that the Vex was coming. Yeah. Also, you did gold card a minion, and we are going to talk about that because you gold card a minion again, and I want you to turn on target champions only. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know. I think I have it on my mouse because it's a toggle, right? Okay.
Use it more, and because this is what happens when we don't. I mean, in this segment, it wasn't that big of a deal. You were gonna die anyways, even if you gold carded the minion or not. But there is another segment where we could have played it better, and we gold carded a minion, and it kind of just made us less powerful overall, and we will talk about that. Actually, we're gonna move on to that right now. In this area where we are in the bot side, we're about to fight this Caitlyn. We're gonna TP bot side. You have a gold card ready, you gold card the minion, and maybe you could have hit the Caitlyn here, but you just clicked a little too bad and it hit the minion. And if you just had target champions only on, you probably could have hit the Caitlyn, who knows. But also, you could have played this a little bit better and played with your cooldowns in mind. As in, don't just walk up into this bush. Play a little bit more like this. So you can play with your range, wait for your card to come back up, and then go in. And also, in this play, you really, honestly, overall, you really only like picking gold cards in fights. And in this one, you waited for your gold card here when you could have just probably blue card her and killed her, Like, we waited for our we waited for our gold card. When we just blue card here, she dies, right? That's what I think, at least. That's just one thing that I think you could have definitely done. And also, turn on target champion only, so you don't just gold card a minion for no reason. And then let's move on to the next moment where we're going towards the top lane, and we're kind of chasing down a... this is actually way further down. Okay, so we're going towards top lane, chasing down a stupid Caitlyn. I don't know what he was doing. I know why you didn't hit the plant, because you have your gold card. It makes sense. Minion block is going crazy for you right now, which absolutely sucked. The only reason why you did not catch her. But after we're chasing her down a little bit more, we start CSing and, pushing in waves. ask ourselves the questions. We're passing the midpoint. And what's the questions? Is our team adding pressure? Actually, they are adding pressure in the mid lane. Where is the enemy? We see that the bar is the bot lane. And we see Vex is in the mid lane. We don't know where Jace is. We don't know where Karthus is. We don't know where Caitlyn is. Well, we know where Caitlyn is. She's somewhere in the top side because, you know, we were chasing her down. But that is exactly what got us killed. We didn't know where the enemy was. The Karthus was here, and then we just died. And it's just as simple as asking us our simple questions as we're passing the halfway mark of the map. Do we know where the enemy is? And if we don't, maybe don't push up, you know? Don't push up. It's a little dangerous. Let's move on to this play that you made that I wish that you didn't do. But what happens was, you know, a team fight happens randomly again because your team is, I don't know what they're doing, but random team fight happens. And after the team fight, you wanted to kind of like, I guess, save the mid tower, but you chose to TP to it, and then after you TP to it, you also use your ult. And it's like, that feels so sucky. You just used both your ult and TP, and then I don't think you didn't even get the Vex. You actually didn't even get the Vex here. But one thing I just want to say, like, super easily, like, just use your ult before you TP, you know? Because, like, it's more value. You get to see what they're doing, so you can actually see if they're actually pushing in, so your TP doesn't matter here. But also, like, your ult is on, like, what, a minute cooldown at this point, like a minute 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's
like,
really short.
It's short at this moment. Just use your ult, and then we can have our TP for later. Because this is where it could have mattered, where we're right here, we're pushing topside, we're doing a split push, Dragon is coming up. This is actually a really good split push. I like it. We know their enemy is. We know that they're probably trying to fight for the drag, but maybe we could have TP'd, and maybe it would have mattered. I don't know. And also, you weren't looking at what's happening, but it looked like it just... Now you start looking, and you see that, like, all right, this is loss, and, like, fair enough. You keep pushing, but maybe you could have TP'd earlier, like right here. If you did, I don't even know if this was soul point. I have no idea. I don't know if you even, okay. That was not soul point, so like it really didn't matter too much. This is just silver, like whatever. That happens in silver. Is there any questions about that?
No, like I'm just listening to you say the things, and like me rewatching, and I'm thinking like, what a dumbass.
I mean, it's very different. It's very different from watching it and actually playing the game, and honestly, you should do this to yourself. Having me help you is even better, because I can give you even more mindset. Just watching your gameplay can astronomically make you a better player, and it happens. I play dumb sometimes as well. I watch my own gameplay, I'm like, wow, this is really stupid. Why the hell did I do this? One last thing that I have for you, and then that's basically all I got, because the rest of this game is just your team dies to a team fight. You couldn't do anything. Your team fight happens. Like it was just a fiesta, yeah. So it was like there was nothing else I could really talk about for you. But this last thing was just a little Twisted Fate thing. Use your ult for sometimes escaping as well, because it really looked like you could have gotten away just by using your ult here. Like, not right now, but after you gold card this guy, the only thing that can stop your ult is CC, and he's gotta knock you, and then the bar needs to stun you. The bar or ults you. But like right here is like you could ult here and just immediately get out. That's what I think that could have happened, but you just ended up dying, and you just didn't ult.
Yeah, that's true.
Spotting this more is, you know, that just comes down to playing the game more. But at least I'm just trying to put this in your mind. Try to use your ults to escape, because this looked like a great escape opportunity. Like, it's instantly as you gold card this guy, bam, R, I'm out of here, you know. But thank you for giving me this opportunity to help you. But before I let you go, I do want to give you this survey. You don't have to fill it out if you don't want to. I really don't care.